Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. My name is Arnaud Lheureux here at Microsoft. I have the pleasure to be here today with Asim Gupta. Hello Asim.
Hi Arnold, hello everybody. This is Asim Gupta. I'm responsible for the partner advocacy and go-to-market for ERP Cloud across APJ and SAP.
So Asim, thank you so much for joining us today. We at Microsoft are working a lot to help our customer migrating their data center to the cloud. And as part of that, of course, SAP workloads are one of the most mission-critical workloads that our customer have, and we are helping our customer doing that. So we know that trend for quite a while. You've probably seen us very active last few months running and discussing about SAP on Azure. That's basically a combo where our partners, our common partner, Microsoft and SAP, help our customer to their migration to the cloud at different layers of transformation. But we also have a way for that transformation to be handled directly by SAP. It's called HEC, is it?
It's called the S/4HANA Single Tenant Edition, and that's what we're going to talk about it in the next few minutes. So thank you for that, Arnold. Well, SAP and Microsoft have been in very good partners for a long time. We all know that 85% of the Fortune 500 companies are with SAP and Microsoft, and that says it all. Customers are looking to us for further guidance to simplify their landscapes and digital transformation journeys dramatically, and we are up for the challenge. With the new offering called SAP S/4HANA Single Tenant Edition that offers our customers the fastest path to an intelligent cloud, which basically leads to an intelligent ERP landscape as well for them. We've got 3 or 4 clear-cut differentiators which are available in this offering. First of all, it's the complete accountability lies with SAP. So you've got the full functional ERP with all the languages, all the countries, all the geographies supported with the best-in-class global distributed infrastructure which Microsoft Azure brings into play, which is also certified to host data requirements of customers, which could be confined to an FSI or a public sector or a healthcare kind of an industry. So most of these regulations, most of these requirements of the customers are together taken care of when we come together. And that's not all. We also have something called as pre-packaged cloud offerings, which allows our customers to consume the standardized cloud packages and pay really for what they really want to use. So that's the clear-cut differentiator which probably we bring as a team together this time.
Very nice overview for the settings. So basically, in all the sets of offering, is that SAP owning directly the customer SLA or SLO? How does it work exactly?
Absolutely. The apps are provided by SAP. The customers are using the SAP apps, although they are on different infrastructures, in this case, which is with Microsoft Azure. Since SAP provides the application and customers are using SAP apps, SAP has no reasons for not owning the SLA. So we own the complete SLA, which spans across the IT as well as the app stack. We can provide up to 99.9% of uptime with the best-in-class engineering teams and the product teams of Microsoft and SAP supporting from the backend and providing an enterprise-class support. So Arnold, one question from me. There are many platforms out there, as we know. Why Azure for running SAP? That's the basic question.
Well, thank you for this question. I think that's quite fair. And one of the items is that you mentioned it before, is like we are not on an opportunistic partnership here. It's like 25 years that we've been working together. And working together is just not releasing product together, is working, having the engineering of the integration of the engineering processes together, making sure for our customer that our product works best. So there's usually ongoing announcement between Microsoft and SAP. We've seen a lot recently, just to name it, the Open Data Initiative and many others that we're going to talk later. But to come back on Azure by itself, we mentioned about the common engineering. So we'll talk about Leonardo again, but that's another area of great collaboration. We talk about offering maximum possibilities for the customer going to Azure, which means that if customer wants the flexibility of virtual machines to run and execute their deployment into the cloud, we really have this wide spectrums of all kinds of virtual machines that can go up to 12 TB with the MV2 series, which is coming in the next few weeks. And also, we've been running the physical instances, TDI certified hardware for years within the Azure data center as well. So whatever customer preferences, we have both options, whether it's full VM or it's bare metal for a more immediate kind of scenario. So that's one of the aspects. Another important aspect I think we mentioned also is security. You mentioned about FSI, you mentioned about regulated area. Well, Azure, as we talk, is 91 certification, so it can be the very global that we know, ISO 27001, 17, etc. But it's also the very specifics of the FSI globally, and also very specific of the different countries that we are operating from. So if we're talking about Korea, if we're talking about Singapore, if we're talking about any countries in the region, we are basically working with having the right compliance framework and to have this possibility for a customer to, at the end of the day, accelerate their deployment and their compliance as well. It also takes the form of security, which basically offering best-in-class security layers to protect the intellectual property, sorry, of our customers, and offering either same thing, cloud-native technology that we have, Azure native security technology, or including either third parties solution, if you like, your application inspection layer firewall. We have the whole ecosystem which is here working with us as well. And of course, I couldn't talk about Azure without talking about hybrid. Our hybrid story, I think, is very powerful. Whether you want to take benefit of the power of Azure data center near you, or you need this power inside your own data center. So of course, that's the story about Azure Stack, which is sitting in your data center and where you can already leverage this innovation, leverage IoT, having this smart factory and having some components of it locally, and as well some of it in the cloud to leverage the compute power there. And of course, you see where I'm coming here, talking about Industry 4.0, digital transformation, and we couldn't basically escape that without talking about AI. Infusing AI in all the processes, that's really something that we are helping and we are working with our customer. So from the foundation to the latest and shiniest added value for our customers, for our common customers. Asim, we see this relationship between Microsoft and SAP. Is this just something that we're discussing in an office, or is there real go-to-market and approaches that we have together here?
Well, I think first and foremost, to start with this question, if I have to answer this in a very simple way, is that we mutually are running each other's applications on each other's infrastructure. And a classic example is SAP has got so many LOBs inside and so many functions and departments inside. Some of them are already on Azure. For instance, some of the portal services which our organization, the Digital Business Service, uses is being running on Microsoft Azure infrastructure. Some of the IT data management hubs that we have within our organization, that is also being running on Azure. We also have certain print management and Adobe document services which are also running on Azure infrastructure. And this is only going to increase with time. You're going to see more and more and more internal applications, whether it is mission critical applications or less mission critical applications. Slowly and steadily we are on a transition path. It takes time because some of the times, a complex customer like SAP or one of our kinds of customers who have got more complexities in their landscapes, if they want to convert into a true cloud environment and if they want to move into a standardized cloud environment of Microsoft Azure, then of course it brings certain disruption. But from coming from a consulting perspective, we can definitely offer some personalized roadmaps to customers to really give them a seamless migration to Azure. And that's what SAP is going through internally. And once we have gone through internally, we become the best references together, and then we offer the same thing to the customers. And that's a trend which is happening right now. And that's exactly what I wanted to take this conversation forward. I'm sure that Microsoft also has been running some of the SAP applications on Azure as well. So could you please just give us some light on that?
Well, you bet we have some kind of big SAP deployments internally, of course. That's how we run our business, basically. And this journey that you mentioned, we actually have been through and we are still going through it. So currently, as we speak, 100% of our SAP systems are running onto Azure, but it hasn't been a big bang and one day and everything like appears in the cloud. That's really a step-by-step migration process that we worked internally, and with the same struggles that customer might have, which is how do we do the release batch, the migration batch, how do we migrate, and how do we do the cutover between the platforms. So how we have the right iterations and approach, do we have the right compliance for the whole environment. And same thing, the changing of the spirit on the ops team to talk on the very ground, like oh, what? So this going to the cloud, what do I do in my job? And that's really some question and some interactions we have sometime. And the question is, with the cloud, well, our team doing more interesting thing now. You don't spend time hugging the servers, if you can say so. You're spending more time doing the automation, reproducing the processes, added value to the business. So this journey, that's what we've been through as well. And yeah, now we're happy to have it 100% running into Azure.
Fantastic.
So Asim, as we mentioned, Microsoft, we did this journey. It was not a one-off. We did migration of our system. Some of them migrated to S4HANA in the cloud. Some of them are still not yet to S4HANA. Is there like a one-size-fits-all in the migration to the cloud, or do we have multiple nuances and paths that our customer can take when they go there?
Well, there is no one-size-fits-all, unfortunately, but broadly speaking, we've got two sets of customers to deal with. One of them is pure net new accounts, net new customers who are running on some other ERP cloud offerings, and they want a much more matured ERP cloud offering. So the shortest path to them could be S4HANA single tenant edition or a multi-tenant edition, depending on their shape and size. And that gives them the necessary edge to the business that they're looking for. And now we have another kind of customers who are our installed base, which are our main stakeholders, so to speak. Now, these are complex customers in most cases, where they have enough complexities and customizations which they're running with, whether they're running on-premise, whether they're running with infrastructure as a service provider, whether they're running directly with Microsoft Azure. Now, again, as I said, that they don't want to disrupt too much, but they really want to take the standardized approach of the cloud going forward. So in those cases, we come up with a highly personalized S4 transformation journey for them. And the way we do this is by really using our managed cloud services platform, which is the HANA Enterprise Cloud, as a stepping stone towards a standardized cloud journey, which eventually leads to an S4HANA single tenant edition or a multi-tenant edition. So that's the approach that we take. Hence, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. But then, these are the broad two categories where we can summarize the journeys of customers.
Okay, very good, very nice. We have some cases that we've been seeing with a customer, things that we've seen and we worked together on. Some of them being on SAP, on Azure, purely, I would say, maybe mutual partners that we have and that are operating and executing the migration for our customer, and some of them being HEC as well. Do you have any names to mention to make it more real and concrete?
Yeah. Well, there are lots of. If I start talking about these customers, we've got a huge list of customers. As I said, 85% of our customers are Fortune 500 customers, which basically speaks a lot. But if I have to name a few customers, obviously from the region, I can talk about Malaysian Airlines, which is running their S4 instances on Azure. We have Zulik Pharma, which is another classic example of the same journey. And then when we talk about the S4 cloud kind of customers or the HANA Enterprise Cloud kind of customers, you've got Avianca Airlines, the Colombian great airlines, which is completely moved onto a S4 cloud on Azure. Then we've got this engineering company called Aker Solutions from Oslo. They have fantastically moved their instances into the Azure. We also have some of the retail chains like Jumbo Supermarket, that is again running on Azure. We have some of the mass public transportation systems in APJ which are already running on Azure, and I don't want to name them because they're still on the journey yet. So long answer short, if somebody wants to know a particular industry and a particular line of vertical customer which is running their SAP instances on Azure and trying to move to a standardized path, just let me know and I'll give you the name and I'll possibly invite you to the customer conversation.
Very good, very good. Thank you for the invite, Asim. So we're talking about migrating S4HANA, making S4HANA cloud for our customer. But I think one of the foundations of digital transformation at our customer is also Leonardo. That's one of the fundamental aspects. And Leonardo and Azure, we've just announced a couple of months ago at NWC some fantastic co-engineering effort that we did together for this one. Do you have a little bit of words on that for our audience, Asim?
Well, we've got to talk about that. Yeah, that's the most important and the hot news these days in the market. Well, what we know so far is that SAP has come up with the possibility of offering Microsoft Azure IoT Hub as a kind of a connectivity and device management layer which relays the message back to the SAP IoT hub, which is the Leonardo to a large extent. And this resonates quite clearly of what we have been talking in the last 30 minutes or so. SAP is strongly committed to build a very, very strong ecosystem in the IoT space, and it really realizes the importance of partners in this space. And together, by offering customers a standardized ERP cloud offering and giving them the natural path to an Azure platform, and with this new partnership of IoT on Azure platform with SAP, we're trying to integrate the IoT data with the right business processes. And I think that basically gives the customers the cutting edge that they're looking for in order to move that, in order to transform them to an experienced economy. And that's the real goal that we have to reach. So it's the right step in the right direction, and looking forward to much more collaborations in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very exciting field that we're seeing in the region. This Industry 4.0, the smart factory, building new product faster, innovating. That's really one of the very, very vibrant activities that we see in the region, definitely.
So Arnold, thanks for the great discussion. If you are going to summarize this discussion in a nutshell and provide a call to action for our audience, what would that be?
Well, thank you, Asim, for this conversation today. It was very interesting. So I think next step is very easy. Microsoft and SAP, we are running together cloud workshops. So you can definitely register to one of those cloud workshops. We'll give you the link into the reference materials of this webinar. And basically, customers, feel free to reach out directly to your SAP representative or Microsoft representative. Would be more than happy to help you follow up on that. You'll have our social media details. You can reach out to us on the social media properties. And of course, just right now, we are going to have a Q&A session. So more than happy to take your question online and then follow up with the audience this way.
Fantastic. Let's do the Q&A now.
Thank you very much again, Asim, and see you soon.
Pleasure.